Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to another exciting Vobes Show. It's Monday, the 4th of January 2019. I had to think then. Still having to think, is it really 2019? Are we nearly at the end of this, what do you call it, the teens of the 2000s? It'll be into the 20s thereafter. It's not the noughties, it's the teenies, I suppose. Anyway, welcome along. Lovely to see you. Now, you may not realise this, but actually I'm not terribly well. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to last. My voice might disintegrate, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll see how we do. Let me just see if there's anybody actually out there watching, which will be interesting. We'll turn over to the other screen. And hello, I can see that Richard Suggett, Fiona Cooper and the lovely Julia are out there. Hello to you. Paul and Suzanne Watts, which is nice. Emily Champion, Andy Joy have joined. Dean Cooper, hello to you all. It's so lovely to see you. Thank you for coming along on this evening. I will be slurping hot tea throughout, well, until this mug load disappears. There we go, that's quite nice. So we'll just have to see how we get on tonight's show. I have not a lot prepared because I was all right earlier in the day, and then I started to feel a little bit under the weather this evening, and I've been out chopping wood, getting the SE all fired up, which is very essential these days. In this weather, got to have your SE all going. My Ironheart. As somebody said, I can't remember who it was, you've become Richard the Ironheart, which I thought is quite apt and quite appropriate, so that's very nice. I'm just going to move the thing down to see who else we've got. George Timperley, Anne Osborne, Mark Green, Wendy Wakelin, John Berger, Paul Hine, Kevin Hall, hello to you all. Mark Green says it's February. Didn't I say it was February? I may have got all sorts of things wrong. Daniel is there. Hello, Daniel. Hope you are well as well. Get well, says Daniel. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. And it's nice of you to join me this evening. So I don't know how long I'm going to last. As I say, I haven't got a huge amount prepared. So you're going to have to help me out and give me some topics to talk about. What do you want to talk about on this cold Monday evening? We can talk about the weather. Did you have any snow? How did you manage? You know, as soon as we get any snow, you know what it's like. People kind of panic. But maybe you're one of those people that did get out and throw the snow. And where you are, has the snow gone? Has it dispersed? Down here in Worthing, we had the snow for about 24 hours. In fact, it came down on something like the Thursday night. By Friday morning, most of it had gone. And then that was it. You know, it was a bit of a washout, really, as far as we were concerned. I don't know whether people actually went to school on the Friday down here, but I know across the country they weren't. So be interested if it's affected you. Do you still have any where you are in your part of the world? We've had rain today, miserable. But we don't have to talk about snow. We don't have to talk about that. There are lots of other things. Hello to Judith Oakley. Lovely to see you. Claire Leach has joined. Glenn Johnson. Anne Osborne saying you've got to change your calendar. Thank you very much. Yes, let's do that. That's always good. So this was the January picture. Me clambering up a tree, which... It's very brave of me. That was last year. And so this one, February, here we go. This is what the picture is today. I remember that. That was out on a walk with Ed Warren. Is Ed Warren still out there? We don't see much of Ed Warren these days, which is a shame. That's me sort of gingerly going across a field with some old farm equipment that was abandoned. Anyway, thank you, Anne. That's a good idea. I've done that now. Shove that up there. And it's all good. Hang on, I need another slurp of tea. I don't want to get my throat all done. There we go. Glenn Johnson is saying hello to people in his computer. I don't know how you managed to get into his computer, but if you have, well done to you, which is always a good sign of a slim person. Unless, of course, his computer is very fat. Paul Couchman, hello, Paul. Hope you're well. I see you did another... Dine Like a Servant evening. It looks like it was another success, always successful at the Regency Townhouse. If you've not been, it's well worth going there and checking it out. Check out the website. Just put Regency Townhouse into a search engine of your choice. It'll come up, and check out what good, exciting events are coming up. I'm sure this year there's going to be some very good ones. So looking forward to that. Your views on Brexit, says Glenn Johnson. Yeah, funny you should say that. How many hours have we got? Not enough. How many days are there until we are leaving? I can't wait. It looks to me like we're just going to leave with no deal, and that would be fine. That would be fine. I know there'll be people going, oh, no, Richard, don't talk about it. And I'm not going to. Don't want to upset people. Daniel says, I went to school in Worthing on Friday. Ah, poor you. I'm so sorry about that. Not enough snow to keep you home. George Timperley, hello to you. I expect you went to school on a train, no doubt. Mark Selwood down there in jolly old, nearly said Dorset then, but you're further along from Dorset, down there in Cornwall. I hope you are well down there. Did you get any snow down in Cornwall? Does it ever snow in Cornwall, or is it down there? Because you know you're nearer the equator down there, aren't you? Much nearer. You must be probably in shorts, and you've got your flippers on, your ski masks on. You're probably sitting there with a snorkel on going, oh, I'm in my pool, Richard, I'm in my pool. Mr. Suggett, I don't know if Mr. Suggett's out there. Mr. Suggett used to tell me he would always sit in his hot tub. And do you know, I've known Mr. Suggett now for a good year, I suppose, and I've never seen him in his hot tub. I don't even think I've seen his hot tub, so I don't actually know whether he was... that may have been Porky Pies, because he's busy. He may not be here because he's busy editing up his podcast, which is good. What else have we got going on there? Hi, Richard. Good to see you again. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not feeling on my tip-top condition at the moment. I don't want to wreck my voice because I'm out filming, hopefully, tomorrow, if the weather is nice. If it's not nice, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Because there's nothing to edit at the moment. Everything's all done. Hi, everyone. Roll on summer. Yeah, is this the summer? Is this the summer that we're getting? Everyone tells me that we're having global warming. Well, you know, that's been going on for so long. It never seems to actually happen, though, does it? We've been told that for 20 years, that this global warming is coming. And it's not actually come. And they kept saying, oh, you know, by the time we get to 2020s, the ocean will be up to here. Yeah, how long can they carry on with this lie? Margaret Peacock says, Richard, end the show and go and get warm and rested. We can see you on Wednesday. I will be hounded if I close the show. I will maybe finish early. I'll see how I go. But thank you, Margaret. I appreciate that. I will just do as long as I think is capable. If I keel over and flop out, you'll know that's the end of the show. Even if the live stream is still going, you know, I'm a bit of a pro. One has to keep going. Anne Evans, hello, Anne. Did you fall off and come back out, or what happened? Hello, nice to see you, Anne. Malcolm Hunt, hello to you. No, he says. I assume that's to Brexit. Don't get him started on Brexit. No, sorry about that. I'm off the subject now. Of course, most of you are seeing the answers before they come up. What answers? Webbed feet in Cornwall. Yes, that's what they have. Glenn Johnson says, I have 24 hot tubs. Most don't work. Why? Is it the cold weather that stops the hot tubs from working? I don't understand people who have time to sit. I mean, I have a bath. We don't have a shower here, you see. So I have a bath every day. Why would I need a hot tub? To me, that the bath is a hot tub. Maybe you could tell me the merits of it. Dean Cooper says, Cornwall got a hammering of snow. Very unusual. Where's it gone? Hammering of snow. Oh, it's gone. Wait, hang on. Oh, I've got to find it. What does he say? Very unusual. A30 was... Oh, yes, I should have remembered, because down in Devon, the A30 was... what's his name was doing some stuff with Thingamajig. Yeah, and all those horses. The Haunted Jamaica Inn had a lot of new guests. Yes. Well, there we go. That is one way to get your customers, isn't it? To have a bit of snow. Everybody relies on you. Good bit of promotion, I would say. We had a super dollock of snow on an afternoon in the car park. So I spent an hour lugging buckets of grit about. Chaos for an hour, says Mark Selwood. Jason Harville is sending out individual letters. H-E-H-E-L-O-K-E. Hello. I don't know what he's on about. He's trying to spell somebody's name. Is it Hello Kevin? There we are. Richard Suggett says, I need mine repaired. It's a blow-up type. Oh, maybe it's blown off. Oh, no, that would be smelly. That would be no good. Cynthia Walder has joined. Hello, Cynthia. Lovely to see you. Lovely Julia says, no spam, please, Mr. Harville. No, thank you very much. No spam. Thank you, Julia, for being on the ball with that. Daniel says, did you go out and build a snowman? No, I built a snow bridge, but it was no good when I drove the car across it. So there we go. Glenn Johnson is replying to Glenn. How does that work? Is he replying to himself? Sorry, my keyboard went mad. Just fix it. Fair dues. That's all right. Mark Selwood says, Butler Hill, beside where I live, cars were skidding down backwards. Yeah, you don't want to live on the Butler's Hill, do you? Can't think of any Butler jokes for that one. Maybe Paul Couchman has a Butler joke. Anyway, how are we doing? We are 11 minutes into the show, and here we go. It is a Monday. Sorry, I haven't got the full-on verve and vigour that I normally have to present this. Do you know, I can't even remember what I bunged in this now. What's in the box, ladies and gentlemen? It's another rattler. Now, in the past, we've had bits of... I think we've had bits of copper pipe. It's not that. I can tell you that much. It's not copper pipe. Oh, and we had a golf ball, didn't we? We had a golf ball once before. It's not the golf ball, so you don't have to guess that. But what other rattling thing can it be in the box? That is the big question tonight. It's the most important thing that you'll have to worry about for the next 40-odd minutes. Hello, spam is tasty in a can. Is it? It's nice in a can. It's better out of the can and probably more tasty in your mouth. So that would be good. He's off again. Ooh, missus, says Robert Croser. A coin, says Fiona Cooper. No, it's not a coin. Thank you very much. A box, yes. Is it a key? No, it's not a key. A closed peg, good. Daniel says, in the box, a car. No, it's not a car, but it's a good guess, but it's not right. Suggett's bicycles. Something. Closed peg. Ed Keeley. Hello, Ed Keeley. Lovely to see you. We've been waiting. It's nice that you've popped along. Animal, vegetable or mineral, says Linda Kane. Well, you asked me. Oh, I'm going to tell you. Animal, vegetable or mineral. It's not animal. It's not vegetable. It must be mineral then. Out of deduction. It's the old Sherlock Holmes thing, isn't it? If you've got rid... Ed Warren. Hello, Ed. There he is. There he is. We were just saying, we've just changed the calendar, Ed. We had a lovely time changing the calendar. We all gathered round the old Vobie, one-eyed Kenobi, and, you know, they were all sitting there going, what will be the next picture? What will it be? And this is the one. Do you remember when we went on that walk, Ed? Do you remember that walk? We must do another walk, Ed. We must do another walk. We had fun doing our walks up there. You were so enthusiastic. You were so enthusiastic with the history of North Chapel. It was lovely. Maybe we do it again and pretend we never made the first one, and people will be just as chuffed, you know, because people have 20-second memories most of the time, don't they? That's what I always think. Anyway, Andy Dalgleish says, in the box, a peanut cracknell quality street sweet in green wrapper. Oh, Quality Street. That's a good... No is the answer. If it was, I would have eaten it. That might be a clue. Linda Kane says it's a screw. No. Cushy Phil thinks it's a marble. Anne Osborne is closest with a button, but not for the reason she thinks. Glenn Johnson says, does it floated? I've never tried floating it. It probably would float, I would imagine. Dean Cooper says, is it a pedal? A pebble? No, not a pebble. It's not one of those. Linda Kane asks, is it a stone? Is it a sugar cube, says Robert Croser. That's very good, but no. Daniel says, in the box, is it air? I think you asked that last time, and it isn't air, no. Float, says Glenn, correcting himself. No, well, it may or may not. Laura Riddle, hello, how are you, Laura? Nice to see you. Ed Keeley says a 1960s style flick switch. Flick switch? What, like, oh no, you're not talking about a switchblade, are you? A flick switch. No, it's not. Anyway, it's not one of those. A conker, says Rose. A conker? No, definitely not a conker. Is it plastic? Aha! Well, I can tell you this much. It's part plastic, part something else. Part plastic, part something else. That's a good one. Anne Osborne says an OXO cube. No, you were very close before with your previous one. So OXO cube, and you can't eat it. You can try. Glenn Johnson says it is a switch. Sue Blount, hello Sue. Is it a toggle? No, it's not a toggle. Lovely Julia says a key off the random keyboard I left there. No, here's the random keyboard with all the random keys attached. Actually, you ought to come and get this because otherwise I might start using it. I'm not quite sure what for. Oh, for my keyboard. I'll bung that back over there. I need to get a new light, actually, for the light. A walnut. No, it's not a walnut, not a plug. Thanks, Robert. A key ring. No. Is it an ADSL filter, says Mark Selwood. Do you know, I was looking at my ADSL filter and I thought, maybe I could use that. And then I thought, show wouldn't go out, would it? So, actually, I didn't use the ADSL filter, but it's a good one. I do appreciate that. Both parts mineral, says Linda Kane. Yes. Not vegetable or animal. Well, wait a minute. Actually, part of it is derived from a plant, but not a vegetable. Not a vegetable plant, like cabbage. It's not part plastic and cabbage, but part of a plant. Don't know if that gives too much away. A bayonet light fitting. Hey, that's nice. Oh, no, that's a bayonet on a gun, isn't it? A dongle, says Dean. No, it's not a dongle. A thimble, not a thimble. Anne Osborne, you are the star of the evening. Yes, it is, in fact, a reel of cotton. Yes, a reel of cotton. Well done. Here it is. You got it right. Look at that. A reel of cotton, ladies and gentlemen. The winner there goes to Anne Osborne. Anne, if you can get over here in the next 5 minutes, you can collect your £5 voucher. The £5 voucher is for a local barber down the road who will give you the same haircut as me. So you've got 5 minutes and you'll love it. You'll love it. A nice bald. It's great in weather when it's cold. The lovely Julia says, good luck trying to use that keyboard. It's as mad as Jason's keyboard because it's had too much to drink in its short life. Okay. So that's destined for the bin then. Is it all right if I put it in the bin? I wouldn't like to, get rid of it if you desperately need to have it cluttering up your house. It is a chocolate button. No, Daniel, we've done it. We've done it now. It was a reel of cotton. Robert's saying a shell. No, we've done it. We have done it. I know there's a little bit of a delay, but it's over now. Well done, Anne, says Linda Kane. Well done, says Claire Leach. Game over. Good night, all. Thank you, Kevin. Yes, well, that's an appropriate thing. Please send, she says, send it in the post. I'm sure. Is that going to say send it in the post? I have to move the didgeridoo. Hang on. Please send it in the post. No, you have to come and collect it, Anne. I'm sorry, you have to run here in 5 minutes and get your hair cut like mine. Or in fact, like Bob's. You could have Bob's haircut, which would be good. So, that would be fun. Mark Selwood says, so obvious, a reel of cotton. Why didn't we get it sooner? I don't know. I mean, you were coming up with these very almost close things, like an ADSL filter, which was very close, of course. But, an ADSL filter, not so good on a sewing machine, is it? Or for sewing buttons on. Glenn Johnson says, I won 2 weeks ago. Where's my prize? Don't hold your breath. Anne, you had Glenn, You didn't get here in the 5 minutes. I may not have made that clear, but you could have had that Mohican shaved right off. Oh, yes. We would have done that live on the show. It would have been a hoot. And it may well have made that noise too. Lovely Julia says it'll probably clean up. I'll have it back as I may well need it if I spill tea on my new one. Besides which, I never throw anything away. Ah, yes. Fair enough. You can have it back. You can come and collect it. If you come and collect it in 5 minutes, lovely Julia, I may mistake you for Anne, and you may end up having all your purple hair shaved off on the show with Glenn. That would be good. In fact, Glenn could have the purple hair, which would look good, and Anne could have the Mohican, which would look excellent. That would scare the living daylights out of Bob, who Anne is married to. So that would be, and it would be hilarious to watch, and it would be great entertainment, I think. Nobody else may think so. They may think that the Vobes is being a little bit harsh, but then maybe it's true. Daniel says, good night, the show is over. Good night, good night. Well, good night, Daniel. Sleep well. Hope you... I'm surprised, actually, you managed to get in before the lovely Nikki Jess has said good night, which is, that's a first, actually. In fact, we could all say good night before Nikki has a chance to say good night, because she does like to say good night at least 5 minutes before the end of the show. I'm not quite sure why. I don't think she likes turning things off. She just moves away. What else have we got here? Fiona Cooper says, yes, I won to the golf ball. Oh, yes, and actually, you're welcome to the golf ball. You can have... I will sign the golf ball. If you tell me the name of a famous golfer... Oh, there was one, wasn't he? What was that chap who was high up, in America? Then he had an affair, and then he had something wrong with his leg, and he didn't play for Yonks. And then he came back, and he was no good, or something. I can't remember his name now, but I could pretend to be him, sign it for you, and you could say that whatever his name is, did it. Lovely Kevin says, what about a charity haircut from Glenn in aid of... in fairness, we should do a charity hair grow. That would be better. Oh, I've just lost the stream. I hope you're all right. May have frozen for a moment. Mark says, I think Anne Osborne has a second sight button. Needle, reel. Yeah, now, if anybody can get through the eye of a needle, that's a good trick I'd like to see. Unless it's a very big needle, of course. Dean Cooper says, are you going to club Fiona? What? For guessing the golf ball a week ago. Are you going to club her? Bonk. No. Tiger Woods. There we go. I knew that. Thank you very much. Tiger Woods. There we go. It's an interesting name, isn't it? Tiger Woods. You imagine that they must have been on holiday somewhere in some foreign country, probably. And there they were in the woods when they were pounced upon by a tiger. Maybe, and they thought, that is what we're going to call our child. Maybe it was, there's a tiger in the woods, just as the vicar was going, and you name your child Tiger in the Woods. Tiger Woods, yes, good one. Hello, Steve Blakey. Congratulations, mate, for your lovely lady saying yes. That's all very good news. Well done to you. Very a proud moment. Glenn Johnson says, a Trump. Trump, eh? Richard Vobes has Moses parting the hair. Oh, yes, I could play Moses in one of those big feature films, Here's a question for you. That's an interesting thing. To save my voice, not that none of this was saving my voice, who would you like to play in a film? What character, not the actor, what character in a film? So, imagine I might like to play, for example, I don't know, Willy Wonka. I'd make, that'd be like a part I'd be interested to play. Willy Wonka, be quite funny to do that. What character in a play would you like to be, and why? Why that character? What does it mean to you? I know a bit of typing there, Marcel Marceau you could play in that famous film Silent Movie. You ever seen Silent Movie? Silent Movie, it was all silent, apart from they had Marcel Marceau, the famous mime artist, who said the only word in the film, no, he said. And that was, what's his name? It was one of what's-his-face's films. You know, the comedian, writer bloke whose name... Yeah, don't ask me about names. I'm not very good on that. Sandy Lyle, says Dean Cooper. So Sandy Lyle, I guess, is that a golf person? We're going back to the golf. Rip Torn, Lone Green, great names. Okay. They go over my head. Comedy character, not comedy, characters that you would like to play in a film. What characters would you like to play in a film or in a book? What character would you like to be and why? Dean Cooper says Siv Balestros. Oh, is that Steve Ball? I don't know. Can't read that. That's obviously good. Hello and welcome to the Mad Show, says Daniel. Good. Aragon from LOTR. Okay. And why? And who the hell is Aragon from... And what is LOTR? You've got to bear in mind I don't watch television anymore, so it's got to be a film or something from perhaps the 1950s. Otherwise I won't know what the hell you're talking about it. Curly Howard, my favourite stooge. Oh, okay, Curly, that would be good. Yes, I recognise that one. Tiger's name is Eldrick, really. Oh, is it? Howard. Oh, done that one. Wonderful film, Richard. Thanks. Mel Brooks. There we go. Mel Brooks. Silent movie. That's a good. Brian's mum in Life of Brian. Oh yes. You're a very naughty boy. Oh, I mustn't strain my voice. There's Nikki Jess has joined. She's there, ready to say goodbye. No doubt. Willy Wonka. Gene Wilder. Yeah, Gene Wilder made the best Willy Wonka. I know they had a replacement, didn't they, in the modern one. Anne Osborne, Miss Marple. What a brilliant idea. Yeah, Miss Marple would be good. Hello, James DeWill. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in, which is great. Malcolm Hunt says Lord of the Rings. Yeah, but what character? In Gandalf, maybe? That would be maybe that's your sort of thing. Claire Leach is also saying Lord of the Rings. Yeah, but what character? It's character, not the film. Lord of the Rings dummy. Is that what? Oh, is there a character called Lord of the Rings? It must be. What's his name? I don't know whose name. Andy Dalgley says Alistair Sim in A School for Scoundrels. Oh yes, Alistair Sim basically in anything would be good, wouldn't it? But as what was the name of the part he played in the Saint Trinians? That was hilarious in the Saint Trinians films. Lord of the Rings, Richard. Oh, LOTR. Oh, right. Oh, okay. How was I supposed to know that from Lotra? Oh, hence Lord of the Rings dummy. Yes, thank you. All right, clever clogs. It doesn't take much to type it out, does it? I don't think that when What's-His-Face wrote Lord of the Rings, he was putting LOTR. He might not. Linda Kane says, you are very naughty. What do you mean I'm very naughty? I don't know what that's coming about. Blazing Saddles. Campfire scene. Yeah, hang on. Characters from Aragon, for God's sake, says Aragorn. I don't know Lord of the Rings. I never read it. It was too thick. Didn't see the films either. The shark in Jaws 2. You wouldn't want to be the shark in Jaws, the original, because that was so obviously made of rubber. Maybe you would, actually. Ed Keeley says, Alistair Sim from Scrooge. Love his acting in that. By far the best version. I totally agree with you. There's some dreadful versions. Do you remember the sing-along version, Scrooge? Yeah, there was the musical version, which was that was sad. Daniel says, Richard, only 30 minutes to go until 9. Come on, you can make it. Thank you very much. Yeah, 30 minutes to go, which is... my voice is going. My tea, unfortunately, has come to an end. We may have to have a musical interlude or something so I can go and make some more refreshments. Could someone just pop round with another cup of tea? Or a packet of smoothers would be good. Something, because I can feel the sand grating in my throat. Crewer de Ville. Apparently, my nieces say is me to a T. That's nice. That's Lin Lu. Fantastic. Yes, that's an even better one. Never mind the character you want to be. What do other people say that you are? I think that's more revealing, isn't it? That's good. Robert Crozer says, Jesus. Are you saying, Jesus, get on with it? Or you'd like to be Jesus? Bongo, says Jason having in Blazing Saddles. Okay. Mark Selwood says, I'd like to play Arthur in John Bowman's Excalibur. I love the photography. Oh, okay, fair do. And was Arthur the cameraman then? Must have been. Wonderful, the actor Nigel Terry was Cornish. Okay. Glenn Johnson says any of the In-Betweeners. All right. It's 3:30 p.m. here, says Jason Harville. Is it? 3:30. Gosh, are you supposed to be at work, or have you got the day off or something? Dean Cooper says, any more beans, Mr. Sherrup? Wind? No, I think you've had enough of the Blazing Saddles. Right, okay. You need a fisherman's friend. Actually, I do need fisherman's friends, and I meant to go and buy some, and I didn't. What time do I finish doing this? Oh, yes, I finish this at 9, don't I? And then the shop is shut. Jonathan Beluzic. Hello, Jonathan Beluzic. How the devil are you? Is it art? That's what we want to know. What are we? What like? Like to play Jesus. Yes, like to play Jesus. Yes, lovely Mark. Hello, lovely Mark. Oh, here we go. The Nikki Jess and the lovely Mark thing. I'm sure you've been texting each other for. Claire Leach says, I'd like to play the character played by Ruth Smith so I could snog Dominic West in The Affair. Okay, now that's a film I've not seen, and these are two names I have no idea who you're talking about. Ruth Smith and Dominic West. Okay, fair enough. Not Terry Thomas, obviously. Yes, it's called The Pub, Richard. Just stop the show and go to the pub for a cup of tea. Oh, right, thanks. Daniel, you're 15. You don't know about pubs. John McClane, Die Hard, says Paul. Yeah, that would be a good character. Did you see that recent film that he did? I watched it the other day on a train. Was it the one where he's on a train? Or is that... No, that's the Neil... That was the Neil Leeson one. I watched Mission Impossible 800, whatever it was, the other night. And then I watched The Equalizer 2. Have you seen The Equalizer 2? I remember the original series on the telly with Edward Woodward. And I believe that Edward Woodward said that he would come here and do an interview with me. And then he said, I discovered that Edward Woodward wouldn't, which was a bit of a shame. It's an old Berkesway joke, that one. I just thought I'd throw that in. That was it. That was a long time ago. But yeah, I did see The Equalizer with Denzel Washington. It was a bit violent. It was quite violent. Kevin all says maggots, worms. They are fishermen's friends. Right. Is that what they make fishermen's friends out of? What, maggots? Sometimes I look at that and I have no idea what you're talking about. It's always art, says Jonathan Beluzic. Yes, it's always art. I heard a thing on the radio where they were talking about they'd found some little Constable line drawings. And I did ask myself, is it art? Is it art? Tesco's is still open till 10. Where is Tesco's near to me? I only want to nip out. I don't want to go miles. Maybe somebody could... If you're passing my house, could you drop in some fishermen's friends? Go down to the seafront, see if they've got any mates. Rooster Cogburn in True Grit. Oh, right. Rooster, that's an old... That's, what's his name? Get off your horse and drink your milk, isn't it? John Wayne. Dean Cooper says strepsils are better. Have you got any bronchial balsam yet from Tesco's? I've said about it before. No, I have to admit, you did say about it before, and it's one of those words, bronchial balsam, that does go out. It doesn't trip off the tongue, does it? When you're there, I'd just like some bronchial balsam if you've got... I mean, I would be embarrassed waiting there with the little old ladies and their in their blue rinses, and you're lined up waiting to be served, and then some smarmy pharmacist is there going, "Yes, can I help you?" "Oh, yes. Have you got? I've been reliably informed by one of my viewers that bronchial balsam. I mean, that sounds like that buckaroo thing that bucking bronco. That's what it sounds like. Bronchial balsam. Oh yes, I think you're being wound up there. Is it that Dean Cooper telling you that rubbish again?" Yes, it was. You don't want to listen to him. What you need is a nice gargle with aspic, something like that. Paul Watt says, "Do you call Edward Woodward without the D's?" What would you call Edward Woodward without the D's? I don't know. Ed Woo-War. Yeah, very good. Has anyone seen the Stan and Ollie movie that just came out? Is it good? I have not seen it. I'm a bit nervous about seeing the Stan and Ollie movie, mainly because I've never seen anyone do Stan and Ollie convincingly. There's a lot of lookalikes out there that do these sort of people, and I remember being at an event with the Stan and Ollie lookalike, and I have to say I've never been so disappointed in some of these lookalikes are very they look like the people, and some of them even sound like and do all the mannerisms, and there's a sort of, the word lookalike is a funny thing because your expectation is that they're going to be like that person in every way, but some lookalikes just look like them. As soon as they open the mouth, they're totally different. I've worked with when John Major was Prime Minister, worked with a John Major lookalike on the corporate circuit, and as soon as he opened his mouth, he wasn't John Major at all, but he looked like him. And then there was somebody who looked like, her name's just gone out of, the one with the skirt that blew up, that married Einstein, whatever her name is, not Shirley Temple, you know who I mean, Marilyn Monroe. And I'm just looking at the screen and now I'm flapping my arms like some flappy thing. Marilyn Monroe. And as soon as she opened her mouth, she was from Manchester. And she had this very hard Manchester accent, which just blew the illusion. But then I worked with somebody who did, he did David Jason's character in Only Fools and Horses, Del Boy. And he was the spitting image of Del Boy, and he had the spitting mannerisms and everything, and was worth his weight in gold. Really, really good. And I once worked on a thing where there was this bloke who was the spitting image of Norman Wisdom, and we were all extras in a bus waiting to do something. We were dressed in army gear, and somebody said to him, he said, "Yeah, do you know you look like Norman Wisdom?" And he moved his hair into a certain position and held himself in this position, and then he went into a whole routine of Norman Wisdom stuff. And do you know what? He looked more like Norman Wisdom than Norman Wisdom did. It was most weird. It was like he was in the very early films that Norman Wisdom had done, and he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, But I worked with these lookalikes of Stan and Ollie on the Isle of Wight once. And there are some lookalikes, as I say, they just look like the people, and they get paid a lot of money to look like these people. And they had this car, this vintage car, which wasn't quite right, was the wrong period. So it was like, well, that's not really their sort of cars that they drove. And they walked about, and it was so token, the characters with doffing the hats, and it really made me feel quite, it was like, I don't know if ever you've seen Whistle Down the Wind, beautiful film with Hayley Mills and what's the main actor, Alan Bates, lovely film. And there's a bit in there, there's a young kid, whose name I forget, he's an actor, a little actor, not an actor really, but he was a kid in it. And there's a line in Whistle Down the Wind where they're talking about Alan Bates' character, who's this gangster who's taking refuge in a barn in Lancashire. And the kids, for some reason, think it's Jesus. that he's come back and is in a barn and they think is Jesus. Apart from this little nipper with his Lancashire accent who goes, "That ain't Jesus, it's just a fella." And it's the most hilarious and it's so beautiful. It's such a wonderful film. It makes me want to go and watch it now, actually. Whistle Down the Wind. It's such a charming film. 50s, late 50s, 60s. Beautiful black and white film. Shot around Lancashire. It's a lovely, lovely film. Anyway, so it's like, yeah, I just kept thinking, they're not Laurel and Hardy. They're just somebody dressed up, which is a shame. The other thing I was going to say is, I'm sorry, I haven't been reading your stuff. I'll get to it in a minute. Is I remember the day, we all remember the day. Well, some of us may not be old enough now. It doesn't seem that long ago. Remember the day when Diana died. Lady Di, Princess Diana, when she died in the tunnel in Paris. And I remember that day because I'd got up, I think about 4 o'clock in the morning the news came through or something like that. Anyway, I was up and I had come back from a gig only sometime that week where there were people like John Major and the Queen and a Lady Diana lookalike. And as soon as this news came over that she had died, weirdly, the first thought that I had was, oh, that's all the work gone for the Lady Di lookalikes then? Like that. And then, of course, I realised that's not the thought you should have. You'd be thinking, oh, my God, Princess Diana's being killed in a car crash. How awful. But I just thought, golly, because I was in that profession, not as a lookalike, but as an entertainer, I just thought, blimey, that's somebody like that, her death has wiped out a whole load of people's work. But I always think that lookalikes, unless they're really, really good, they're a bit parasitical. They're living on the back of somebody else's fame. And I don't know that's... somebody said to me that I looked a bit like somebody, and I can't remember who they said. Oh, hello, it's stopped. Oh, no, it started again. And they said, oh, you should do this or you should do that. And I thought, no, I don't want to be like somebody else. I want to be me. I want to do my thing. I want to be successful for what I do. Sorry about that. Let me go and just have a look at some of these comments. I'm going to go back a little bit because there is quite a few comments. Golly, it's on the shelf. No need to ask, says. I don't know what you're talking about there. Have a hot toddy. Oh, yeah, hot toddy would be good. Debbie says, Co-op, do a good one. Brilliant stuff. It's on the shelf. Oh, right, this is the Bronco. I've got you. Charles Colin Fox is there. Marion Monroe. Oh, yes, Marion Monroe. Let's have a look. Jason says, I'm afraid they will ruin part of my childhood if they ruin Stan and Ollie. I'd feel exactly the same. You should just go to the hospital. No, I don't need to go to the hospital. Good evening, says Henry David Allen. Thank you for joining us, Henry. It's lovely to see you. He can shout at Morrison's. Glenn says, Mercury, the Queen tribute singer, looked like Freddie for 20 years ago. He's bald now. No one knows what Freddie looked like, that he was bald. Yeah, well, a number of them were bald. You may have noticed. You may not. I've even put it in the title of my videos. I am actually bald, just so you know. He has the Co-op. There's a Co-op in Towering Road. Oh, okay, yeah. If you think I'm venturing out into the cold, you've got another think coming. Somebody said to me a while ago that thing, about if you think I'm going to go and do this, you've got another think coming. They said, no, that's wrong. It's not another think coming. You've got another thing coming. And I said, what do you mean? That doesn't make any sense. It's another thing coming. They said, no, the phrase. I said, no. It's if you think I'm going to do that, you've got another think, because obviously it's logical. If you think this, well, you've got another think coming. And they'd misheard it for years and were continually saying, oh, I thought it was, if you heard this, if you think this, you've got another thing coming. And I said, well, that doesn't make any sense anyway, does it? And they said, no, I often wondered. Have you got any phrases that you've mispronounced or words that you've mispronounced that you've always got wrong all this time? Be interested to see some of those. That would be quite funny. Harry Hill, says Anne Osborne. I don't look like Harry Hill. I mean, what are the chances, eh? What are the chances of me looking like Harry Hill? No, never. Henry David Allen says, I once got on a train and was mistaken for the Doctor from Embarrassing Bodies. Oh, yeah, there you go. How funny is that? Did you go, hello, thank you for joining me. We're on Embarrassing Bodies. Now let's look at yours. Blooming cheek. Lovely Julia says, I used to listen on the radio quite a while, and I slept, and I heard about Diana in my sleep. Freaked my mum and dad out. Hang on. I need to just scroll down because I'm missing it. Freaked my mum and dad out. She came in to wake me up from school, and I sat bolt upright and exclaimed, Diana's dead! It's one of those things. Deaths sadly get looked at more like business here in the States. Oh, yes, well, that's the States, I suppose. Everything's business in the States. Hello, Liz Housden. Lovely to see you back from the Alps. Linda Kane, 43 on At the Mo. At the Mo, 43. Oh, how lovely. A couple have actually dropped off now, I've looked up. Nigel Sadler says, strange, that was one of my first thoughts when Diana died. I often worked with Edith lookalikes. I once travelled home with Prince Charles and Joanna Lumley. Oh, yeah, how lovely. I'm bald by choice. Yes, I'm bald by sort of choice. Oh, Richard, I've got a suggestion. Oh, good, Daniel. What is the suggestion? Stop talking and have a lie down. I'm going to send you an email. Okay, fair enough. I look like Robson Green. I once was in an advert before they became famous, very famous. Robson Green and the other one who was in Ripper Street. If I've got the right two actors, I forget his name now. They did an advert many years ago for a beer. Do you know? Can't remember the name of the beer, but they were singing tracks of their tears, and they were set in a pub, and in that crowd, I was one of the extras in that crowd, and Robson and the other one, whatever his name was, the blonde one, they were singing, and basically they were singing this song, and then it would go to the cut to this beer, and we were in there sort of drinking our thing. Never got to chat to them. And actually, the blonde one, whose name I can't remember, who I thought was brilliant in Ripper Street when I watched the telly back then, it was very, very good in that. But spin back 25 years beforehand, or 30 years, or whenever it was, he was an arrogant sod back then in this advert, him and Robson Green. I can't remember his name. It'll come to me, or somebody will tell me. Liz says, I've 3 times been mistaken for Elizabeth Taylor. She was still alive when she was still alive. I have to say, bless. Yeah, well, you don't want to be mistaken for somebody who's dead, do you? Wait a minute, I thought you were dead. Oh, no, I've been resurrected, don't you know? I did die, but they managed to breathe life back into me. And by the way, I'm 20 years younger. Mick Bain says, a toad in the hole is worth 2 in the bush. Apropos of, says the Vobes. Apropos. Yes, that's it. Jerome Flynn. Yes, that's it. Jerome Flynn. Robson and Jerome, wasn't it? Yeah, there we go. Anyway, he was when he was younger, and we did that advert. He was incredibly arrogant and quite smarmy. But I have to say, in the Ripper Street, I haven't seen him since. I know he did a lot of those sing-songs. They did covers and things, didn't they? I mean, I never saw them since then. It's funny, you see these people and you don't think anything more of it. Probably a good thing. How are we doing? We've got 10 minutes to go. My throat is killing me. I'm out tomorrow. Yeah, thanks, Dean. 12 minutes. All right. I thought we had 10. I've got the dregs of cold tea to gargle with. Not pleasant. Oh, it's the tannin, you know. Oh, Game of Thrones. Never seen the Game of Thrones. Is it like... I always think when they this Game of Thrones. I've never seen an episode. I don't know what it's about. I don't know who's in it. But I knew it was like big a while ago. I don't know if it's still big. People aren't necessarily talking about it. But all I kept thinking was a chessboard. Instead of pawns or the king and the queen, there were just these tiny thrones that were moved about a bit. And that's all I could imagine this thing was. At first, for a long time, I thought it was a game show, but I gather it's a drama or something. I believe there's another one about Vikings, which is a similar thing, but I don't think they have a chessboard in it. Liz Houston says, "You poor love, big hug, thanks very much, thank you." Anne Osborne says, "You can go if you want to." Oh, thanks. I can stay for another 9 minutes. My mum said it's okay. So that's nice. Glenn Johnson says, "I did a programme with Mike Brewer. Arrogant sod. Even the other presenters didn't like him." Mike Brewer. What was Mike? Tell me who Mike Brewer is. I can't even remember the name. I can remember the name. What am I saying? I can't place who Mike Brewer is. Andy Dalgleish says, "When I was tiny, I thought the hymn..." Oh, here we go. This is good. "I thought the hymn went, 'Gold jellies on the mountain, not go tell it on the mountain,' as there were no hymn books at school." Yes, well, so many songs I would get wrong. What's that one with the woman, Climb Every Mountain, is it? Or the woman, I would always get that, I'm Every Woman. Is it I'm Every Woman or Climb Every Mountain? I would never get that right. Mark Selwer said, "I've never seen Game of Thrones 2. In my house, we have curry and we do our own Game of Thrones." Okay, I don't get that. Finish now, go to bed. Don't worry about the last. Kushti Phil says, "I went into Weatherspoons and ordered a meat from the girl at the bar. A meal, I beg your pardon, sat down with a coffee, and a few minutes later the manager brought out the meal out to me. He was laughing and said, 'You've got all my staff in a panic.' They thought I was Tim Martin." Who's Tim Martin? Who's Tim Martin? He's not the farmer, is he? Tim Martin. Is he the farmer that shot the bloke in the back? Is that the bloke? Tim Martin? Henry says he's something to do with classic cars, isn't he? Is that the Brewer bloke? Dean Cooper says, "Do you ever feel cold without a woolly hat?" No, actually, I don't. Generally, it's my ears that get cold, and yet when I wear a woolly hat, I don't put it over my ears. Strange that, isn't it? Motoring presenter Enid China, who's 6'8" tall. I don't know who Enid China is. William Topiary says, Tim Topiary says, "Mike Brewer is a car dealer." Oh, from dealers. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Jason Arthur says, "Richard, what you do helps bad days seem a lot worse." Oh, sorry. Seems a little bit better. Thank you very much. Thank you. Very kind. Clearly says that I had to get up for work early on Sunday at the Co-op when Princess Diana died. Ah, bless you. Have you just woken up or something? That was like, did you nod off? Claire, did you just nod off? Thanks, Glenn. Yes, I read that. The owner of Weatherspoons. Oh, Tim Martin, owner of Weatherspoons. Oh, right. Oh, yes, of course. Yes, of course, the owner of Weatherspoons. Oh, yeah. I like him. He's for Brexit. He's a good man. Anthony Jones says Tony Martin's the one. Do you know I stayed with a friend of mine. Oh, God. 12 years ago, probably. In Norfolk. In a B&B. And we were staying there, and the bloke whose B&B this was, he was cooking us breakfast, and we said, we might go for a walk in the evening, because it was a nice light evening, it was in the summer, so we might go for a walk. He said, "I would go that way if you go for a walk." And we said, "Oh, is that the nicest way?" He says, no, but it's just Tony Martin lives in the house over there. And we were going, "Oh, yeah, we'll go that way. We don't want to be..." Of course, because it was a joke. It was a joke. But yeah, it was. We did stay in his house. He pointed to the house. Yeah, you don't want to meddle with them Norfolk farmers, see? Even if they talk like that with a bit of West Country accents. Kevin Hall says, Richard, if your mum said you can stay for the rest of the show, I am running for the hills. She died. Yes, thanks, Kevin. Thanks for rubbing that in. What, Mum? Oh, yes. You'll haunt him tonight. Marvellous. You do that, Mum. She's going to get you, Kevin. You can run for the hills, but my mum will come and get you. And she's had a few of them as well, so she'll be wailing after you. Did Tim Martin have a shotgun, says Mark Selwood. Luckily, we didn't see him. Robert Crozer says, Ed China, 6'8" tall. Whoever Ed China is. Diana died on my birthday. Oh, what a shame. Was she due to see you? Did she not bring the present? Maybe she had gone to Paris to buy some nice perfume for you. And they had the car crash. And somebody obviously didn't, the forensic people, the FBI or whoever it was, the CIA or whoever, the French Interpol. They didn't bring you the perfume. How annoying is that? Dean Cooper says, Google Ed China. His garage went bust, yet it's on TV. Must have been a small one, depending on the size of your television, I suppose. Robert Crosser, I was too hung over when Di died. Di died. It was a bit of a bit of a prediction, really, wasn't it? Just by having the name Di died. Di. You will die. No, but you will die early, die. I don't want to die early. I've just dyed my hair. Oh, da-die. Dear, oh dear. Breggs, not Brexit. Oh, Claire Leach. It isn't Brexit. Now, clear that up, Claire Leach. You've got 3 minutes. Some people say Brexit, which clearly it's not. It's Brex. Because it's British exit, isn't it? That's where it comes from. Exit from the EU. It's the British exit, hence Brexit. It's not Breggs. It's not Greg, what's his face, from MasterChef. Johnny is cooking a egg, ham and salad. He has cooked it for 25 minutes. He's taking it out the oven and will present it to the judges. Yeah, well, I think that would be all right if you were just to put a bit more black pepper on it, because without the black pepper, what do you think, other person who presents this show? Yeah, well, I talk a bit like you as well, and I think you're right. You should have put more black on anyway. I'm going to do more of the talking if it's because I've got the bigger face. Yeah, your face is more rubbery. Yeah, well, yours looks like you haven't shaved for 6 months. I haven't shaved for 6 months, but I just wear fancy jackets and seem to get away with it. Oh, yeah, well, I remember when I was on the Radio 4 series doing Veg Talk, and we used to talk about veg on Radio 4, and it was great, but then they axed that because obviously I had a face for television and not for radio. Greg Wallace, there we go, that was his name. They're all lizards, I bet they are. Don't upset the royals. No, because you mustn't upset the royals, because obviously one of them might get in their car at 97 years old and try and make their way down from Scotland to here. Obviously they'll have about 20 accidents on the way down, but luckily they'll be wearing non-seat belts. Biscuit sounds better, yeah, that's true. Robert Crosser says, ask David Icke. Oh, he's a lizard, isn't he, apparently? If Lady Di was wearing a seatbelt, she'd probably have survived. Yeah, well, look at the case up north with the one I just mentioned, Phil the Greek, know what I mean? He didn't wear it. Anthony Jones says, oh, them bloody voice-overs on the cooking shows. Marco puts egg in the pot. Oh, yes, that woman. Hasn't she got the most annoying voice on MasterChef? Marco puts egg in the pot and boils it for 20 minutes. We just talk right down to you as if you are a complete and utter imbecile, which of course we think you are because we're the BBC. Yeah. Oh, Mark Selwood's got to go for a wee. And listen, before Nikki Jess says goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. It's been great fun. I appreciate you coming in. I got in before Nikki Jess. Whoa. I managed to say goodbye to the end of the show. That makes a change. Fantastic. Well, good night, folks. Have a lovely evening. Look after yourself. Go for a wee, Mark. What's his face? And don't forget, Mark's going for a wee, and he's going to get his little thing out and have a little winky, which will be fine. Don't forget to pull the chain at the end. Take care, one and all. It's been lovely to see you. Hopefully on Wednesday I will have my throat. He's in Game of Thrones. Who's that? I don't know. One of them. Gerard. Claire Leach, have you just woken up? I know there's a sort of thing, but blimey, I think there's a time. You keep nodding off, Claire. We talked about Jerome ages ago. I'm going before Nikki says goodbye. Take care. Nice to see you. Arrivederci. Have a lovely life. And I'll hopefully see you on Wednesday. Until that time, goodbye.